Aloha from sunny Honolulu. It is in the 70s, high 70s today, and what I am going to be showing you is this, what I consider beautiful secret park here in Honolulu. And you wouldn't know it's a park if you're visiting from out of town because it is called the Frank Fosse Civic Center. But as you can see, it even comes with a convenient parking garage. So, if you happen to be renting a car, you can come here. And I'll kind of give you an indication of where we are. Right there, these towers, this is Kaka'ako. Right there, those towers, that's downtown. Right up there, that crater, that's Punch Bowl. And then here, we've got this big, beautiful transit center, which I believe should have high-density housing over the parking garage and this office building. That's just a personal opinion. Also, I think it would be great, I love this lawn, but what if we put some food trucks or stalls around the inner edge so that people could, patronize them while they wait for the bus? Just some thoughts, some urbanism thoughts. So here is something I love about Honolulu. I'll just show you here, like kind of the intricacy. Unfortunately, they don't do as much of this anymore, but it is left over from the good old days. And I do love this area. And there's a lot of cool architecture in Honolulu, some not so great, and there's a lot of great brutalism too. Believe it or not, I think this is one of the examples of the not superbly great brutalism, but there will be some examples here that I will show in this area that I think really work out well. So here again is the area. And this is about to become Vlogmas if I keep this up. Today is the first official day of the Honolulu Christmas Village. So there's going to be a tree lighting ceremony at 6, and there's going to be a parade around the same time, and this is near to where we happen to call home. So this actually, a lot of this will be my nightly walk. So here you can see this is a municipal parking spot. And you can see that they've got everything metered. So this will be very handy for you. And so what you do is you'd park there and then you'd walk this way. And I really recommend this area. I just think it's absolutely and fabulously beautiful, and a lot of tourists and tourist companies do too. And so the tour companies that will come through here, they will drive, I have noticed, in a very zigzaggy pattern all around. And I think they're doing two things. One, they're increasing the time you're with them, and two, they're discombobulating you. And that's fine if you want to pay for it. If you've already got the car, you can just park there, and you're going to see what we can see in this beautiful area today. Not only do you get this beautiful walk, you get more. You get to see the state capitol building. You get to see the palace. You get to see what was a palace and then became like a state clerical office, I guess, and is now the Supreme Court of the state. A lot of folks will bring their beautiful puppies and doggies here in the early morning and in the evening, and it's a great place for them. And my wife every day is like, when can we get a dog? And I want a dog too, it's just I'm highly allergic, unfortunately. Oh, it's so annoying being allergic to the cutest animal on earth. All right. So here's this beautiful building. I think it's like a model or inspired by Monticello. I've been to Monticello. I don't know how similar it is. Hey, how are you doing, guys? What's up? And then this over here is called Honolulu. So it's where the mayor meets. And I actually did this video a little later in the evening, and I did it a few days ago. And unfortunately, I hadn't deleted the Cocoa Head video yet, because this is all very low budget. So I'm just using an iPhone 12. And right over here, the governor actually passed right, not the governor, I'm sorry, the mayor, Len Giardi, passed right by, and I threw him a shaka. He threw it right back, and it was so fun. And then, shortly after that, the video quit out because I ran out of space on my phone. So this morning, woke up and I deleted a bunch of videos. I can't believe how many videos I had on this phone, short clips, like 15-second stuff. And in addition to that, the Cocoa Head video, because it's already up on YouTube, and now hopefully we have space so that we can show you this beautiful area and this beautiful walk. So, okay, you're walking through this secret park, right? Usually this secret park doesn't have all this festive stuff. Well, it does all throughout. Oh good, this street's blocked off so we can just pass through. Very cool. So it'll have this stuff on and off throughout December, but generally this is a street that's Queen's Hospital right there. All right, and here's the state capitol and the lawn. Now, interestingly, in years past, this has been right here. So we'll see if this street, which isn't really a through street, it's more of a pedestrian thing. We'll see if there's anyone set up there today. This star went up about 5 days ago. It's big and bright and beautiful. It lights up at night. And every time it comes, we're so happy. This construction project, we have this beautiful state capitol. I'll show it to you. And these are the palace grounds right here starting. But apparently back in the 60s and 70s when they were designing and building this, they knew it had some problem. It was this beautiful reflecting pool and fountain. And when I moved here, I really liked it. And for years and years, it was operating and functional, except apparently it was a huge money sink. And so finally, they decided to reno it. However, the problem is they put up the walls right before COVID, I think. Before, apparently, they had a plan. So I've seen some construction workers going in and out, but from my understanding, there's still debate on what they're going to do with it. So they're thinking maybe they'll turn it into like a rock garden. I just saw in the paper today, but the walls have been up for all this time, and we still don't know apparently what we're going to do. All right, so here's the archives building. I don't know really what goes on in there other than archiving. Okay, and then here is the palace. We'll walk through that area. Here is the last queen, Inuli Opulani. You can see how close we are to downtown now. And then here is the Capitol. All right, let's go up and look at this. How cool is that? It's like a giant coin, State of Hawaii, 1959. I believe this is the most recent state added to the Union. It's either this one or Alaska. I think Alaska was 49 and Hawaii was 50. And then who knows? Maybe the people of Puerto Rico will decide to be 51, maybe not. Check this out. Whoa, how cool is that? All right, so this is where the governor meets. And check this. All right, so I'm not going to walk all the way over this way, but if you wanted to, this is a very artistic statue of a, I guess, priest or a saint who worked with the leper community here, and he moved over to Molokai and he got leprosy. And then, I think so. Anyway, that's my story. I'm not sure if I'm sticking to it. And then right there, that is an eternal flame. I'm not sure what it's for. As you can see, the statue of the Queen kind of defiantly faces the democracy that replaced the royal aristocracy. And then, if I'm not wrong about this, I think I just discovered this the other day, that this statue lines up with a statue of the first king that they call King Kamehameha the Great. And I'll show you that in a little bit. So when I first moved here, a long time ago, it was so sad to see that this was all rusted and in real need of being fixed up, and I'm happy to say that it has been. They've restored it and it's beautiful. There is something that I would like to say about this palace other than how gorgeous it is. We'll talk about that in a moment. Check out this big beautiful banyan tree. I'm not sure if it's a group of banyan trees or one giant banyan tree system. In any case, it is impressive. You see, like it might be one tree. So at night, the gates close, I don't know, anywhere between 5 and 6. And there's been various times in that range where I've been able to walk in and not. It just depends on, I think, the day and the guard working. And sometimes they're nice and they'll come up to you in their golf cart and they'll say like, oh, hey, we're closing up. And sometimes they'll be mean. You know, different people have different personalities. So usually at night, I just walk along the perimeter to save everyone the hassle. Alrighty. The thing that I would like to say about this palace is I know that the USA is currently, governing this land, and I know that the USA is very pro-car, but do we really need this giant parking lot? Surrounding the only palace, the only royal palace that is, in all of the US. All right, so this was a palace, and there is the statue you can see of King Kamehameha the Great. And so he used apparently some imported weaponry to kind of conquer most of the islands from the big island where he came from after uniting that one. And then there was a big last stand of the people who were indigenous to Oahu, and they all got pushed off a cliff. And it's a very sad story. And then ended up marrying, I think, into an allegiance to sort of take over the other islands. And then you had the Kingdom of Hawaii. All right, and this is the big beautiful palace and a man admiring it. And this is what I think should maybe be redone. This beautiful palace grounds definitely deserves better than this, cracked asphalt blacktop surrounding it. We don't need a asphalt lay of one of the most beautiful cultural inheritances in all of America. All right, so this is a beautiful and historic gazebo. It's in a movie about a princess, one of the last princesses of Hawaii. She like stands on it and stuff in the movie. I don't know the name of the film. If you are going to propose, if it's open, they closed it for a while because too many homeless folks were using it as either a bed or unfortunately a toilet. And to be honest, I would, if I was homeless, use it as a bed as well if I could. Not meaning any disrespect, but needing somewhere safe and clean to sleep. So anyway, if they've opened it back up, I know they've cleaned it up, but if they've opened it back up, it would be a very beautiful place to propose, in my opinion. In our society, women rightly get to, plan the details of the wedding, and the groom-to-be gets to choose where and how he'll propose. I think a trip to Hawaii is a great way to do it. Okay, so there's going to be a parade, so you can see people are getting ready for the Christmas parade. Usually you don't have that. All right, here is the gates of the palace. How cool is this? Check that out. Wowza. Pretty cool. Alrighty. Okay, so here's one of the tourist companies that's driving folks around. If you don't rent a car, you can join them. Lele trolley. Okay. And we'll go over this way. So this beautiful building right here is like, let's say, I'm a realtor. I'm also a board certified behavioral analyst. I would come to this beautiful building. Let's show off this pretty building. A lot of Japanese newlyweds or folks who will be getting married will come here and they will get some wedding photos done, or they'll just get married here. And this is one of the areas where they'll take a lot of photos. You can see why. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So this is actually a post office, and this is where you'd come to get your license renewed. So you go right through those doors over there to get your license renewed, and then right around the corner is the post office. So very, very beautiful building for rather mundane tasks, which is pretty awesome. I think that if we really wanted to, we could build beautifully for not all that much more than if we just build cheaply. And we're gonna have to live with whatever we build, so why not build beautifully? Okay, so this, like I said, was a palace. I'll show you this first. I was so grateful the other day when I shot this video. I did this cool video walking around this statue. I'll do it again for you. Oh, by the way, this building right here is called the Territorial Building. I'm not sure why. Maybe it was a Territorial Administration Building. I will let you venture here and check it out when you visit the secret park. All right, I will read this to you. So this is Aliolani Hale. So Hale means house. So it's a state of Hawaii historic marker. All right. So originally designed as a palace, it was built by Kamehameha V to house the legislature, courts, and cabinet offices of the kingdom. He did not long, he died not long after laying, this is hard to read, the cornerstone, and the building was given his name, Aliolani. It was formally opened by Kalakaua for the legislative session of 1874. This building's ancient. A revolutionary committee occupied the building on January 17, 1893. Wow, what is that? 19 years after, and proclaimed here the overthrow of the monarchy and formation of the provisional government. Since then, it has served as the judiciary building for the Republic, territory, and the state. That's what this building is all about. That's its history. It's worth checking out if you're a history buff. Maybe you think it's a good thing that Hawaii is a democracy and part of the U.S. Maybe you think it's a bad thing that the royal aristocracy is, gone, and maybe you think the U.S. is an occupier. Either way, it is very historical. All right, now these folks are being very wise. So this is Bicky. I'm grateful for them for modeling it. And we love Bicky. We had a Bicky subscription. We Bicky'd all the time. But frankly, we don't have a lot of money. And Hawaii is a very expensive place. And this year has been very hard. Very hard. Impossibly hard. I don't know about you, but we actually canceled our Bicky subscription, hopefully temporarily, earlier this year to try and save some cash along with some other subscriptions. Okay. So this building right here, these columns are made of ancient coral. I think it's pretty cool as a building material. So one of the nice things, if you bring yourself here, whether you drive or like you just saw, Bicky'd over. Honestly, you could Bicky here, you could bike here, you could walk here if you really wanted to from Waikiki. I mean, it's maybe 2-3 miles away. Hawaii is not a big place. That's downtown, by the way. We're downtown. Okay. So the nice thing about getting yourself here rather than taking the tourist bus is you can explore it more, yeah? All right, so here's some of the brutalist architecture I think is fantastic. I think this building is really cool. This fountain isn't brutalist, I don't think, but it's very cool. I think this is called Fort Street Mall. I'm not sure why. Oh, this, by the way, I think this is the Social Security building, the Social Security office. But this right here, I think this is so cool. This building, you can see these long columns, these tall columns. And it looks like, to me, to my eyes, I don't know, it works. It's almost like natural, surrounded by this lush, almost forest, to my eyes anyway. I do really appreciate this. I think this is well done right here. I love doing this walk. I'm so grateful you're coming with me. Oh, by the way, that's the water. So that is a Coast Guard facility and dock. So that's what that is. And then the water is 2 blocks in front of me. So you're very close to the water. Here are these massive pillars. Check that out. So cool. All right. This is the United States Courthouse. And inside there is an absolutely beautiful art piece. It's an installation. It's as tall as the building itself, and it's tiered. And it's a shame because it's not a horseshoe-shaped building or something like that. It's like a donut, and so you can't see inside. So only the few people who are going into this courthouse on any given day can see this massive, beautiful, expensive piece of artwork. Okay, anyway, back to what we were talking about. Here you can see cruise ship. So definitely water. It's deep water. And you can see another cruise ship. Now this thing, I hear it's defunct. I hear this hasn't been operating forever, and yet it sits there. So I feel bad for the folks who live in this building, which has great prices for Hawaii, by the way. As you know, I am a realtor. If you want to move, I would love to help you, but you've got to have a lot of money, because even people who have like a net worth of $3-5 million, they've come out here and they haven't wanted to buy. I get it. If you're not going to live here full time, you might, be a cheapskate and get a place in like, someplace cheaper. Anyway, you're very close to the water. Oh, that is the Atlantis cruise. So if you're going to take that dinner cruise, that's where you'll disembark from. But yeah, this building right here, if you are above the power plant, you have great views and very affordable for what you get. And you're right here at this great place to walk. As you can see, there is a bunch of road work. These roads really need it. This is Kaka'ako directly in front of us. And beautiful landscaping here. So we'll see. My wife and I are planning to go to the Christmas tree lighting, and we are planning to maybe catch the parade. It's just downstairs at our secret park, which we've now shared with you. I will see if I can't get this phone charged up and everything and make space available to show that off as well. Okay, so this is a new affordable housing project. So affordable in Hawaii means anywhere between 60% of median income, usually to 140% of median income. It's per person in the household, how they determine that. And you have to generally live in it a certain amount of time. So these units, like, let's say it's a studio, you probably have to live there, 10 years. And then if it's a 1-bedroom, maybe you have to live there 7 years. And if it's a 2-bedroom, maybe 5. And if it's a 3-bedroom, maybe 2, something like that. All right, then here we have, so this is still Kaka'ako. And then that's Ward Village. So 1, 2, those 2 towers, those are part of Ward Village. The closer one, this gray one right above the tree, that is the Kekilohana. That is also affordable housing. But again, affordable housing here, very expensive. So we had some friends who lived in this building. They were renting. They're now on the mainland on the East Coast. And he was a doctor finishing up his residency, I think in the Army. And she was a clinical director for a behaviorism company. So 2 very high salaries could allow them to rent there. Oh, here's some chickens crossing the road. They're trying to get to the other side. And then here, behind this tree, you can't really see it right now, right there, you have, I'm going to jaywalk, I'm so sorry. I'm tired of waiting. Pedestrianism in America isn't the most fun thing in the world, but we make do, don't we? You can see we have a lot of feral chickens in Hawaii. So this is a twin tower. It's called One Waterfront Tower, which is hilarious. Feels like it should be called Two Waterfront Towers. This area had straight up construction walls for the past 4 years around this area. It used to be just a very nice lawn. Now it's a very not nice lawn. They've just come down in the past 2 weeks, and from the looks of it, all that's happened is this ugly piping system has been placed, which looked like it could be placed, I don't know, in weeks, in days, in hours. So I don't know what happened there. That's okay. We're walking up to an area that is a great bar, very cost effective for Honolulu, and it's so cool because it's right outside. The Row Bar, it's actually operated by one of the local supermarket chains, but it's fun to maybe grab a refresher. And I will tell you a story of a very great sushi place that if you want to spend a load of cash, you can prioritize coming to. Okay, so this is the newest and currently most expensive tower on the market in Ward Village. And there's the Ko'ula, that's my wife and I's favorite. I think it's by Gene Gang Architects. All right, so I love this area. Again, here we have this awesome pedestrian plaza, and I feel like there should be housing above this building and above this building and above all of it, because this would be a great main pedestrian street or public square. I mean, it is, but it's underutilized for what it could be. And I'm sure that if we put housing, above the office spaces here, that would help a lot of people in a lot of ways. You might work in this area, you would be able to walk rather than commute. You would save money on gas. The folks who have shops and restaurants here, you would patronize them more than the big oil companies through their gas stations, so you would be helping the local entrepreneurs. I just think it's a win-win. I'm pro-urbanism. As you can see, I am as much of a pedestrian as I can. We've downsized to one car. It's an EV, it's a used EV, so we're trying to get away from as much carbon as possible. And if you think that's cool, cool. If not, okay. You do you. So this is the Row. Here we go. So Charlotte and I like to come here. And the Row Kaka'ako. Okay, so this right here, Kinchan Sushi. I have walked by this place again and again for years and years and years. And it was always closed, and I could never find it open. Finally, I see it open one night. So I go in and I inquire, hey, can I make a reservation? And they say, and now when I look back, I realize they're essentially saying, no, please, don't. But they say, oh, it would be very late. It was like a Tuesday, I think. I was like, how late? They said 8:30. I said, okay, my wife and I will be back at 8:30. So I run home. I beg my wife. This is the collections, by the way. We had a friend who was obsessed with this building. She did not end up living there. I think her son did, though. And then Kaka'ako Waterfront Park is just on the other side of this building. Anyway, back to Kinchon Sushi. I convinced her to go. We usually don't go out. We get there, they inform us it's only omakase. Now, neither of us had had omakase yet. That's the only time so far we've had omakase. We're like, okay, whatever. So that's where they just serve you like one piece at a time. This sushi is by far and away the best sushi that we've had so far in our lives together. We were just absolutely blown away. So we realize that we don't know the price. We start frantically looking. We can't find the price anywhere. We start looking online. We notice it's got, I don't know, $3 or $4 signs. We start looking for reviews. We come across a review saying that it is the 6th best sushi restaurant in the world. After tip, we ended up spending something like, and this is years ago, we accidentally, on a random Tuesday, spent something like $364. It was worth every penny. We have not been back. I would love to go back. We cannot afford it. But it was so good. And it was so funny too, because I think the wife of the sushi chef came to us and must have been close to 10 at that point, and she looked kind of exasperated, and she said, you know, the way this works is when you're done, you have to let us know. And we were so overly full at that point. Really, please stop. Yes. Just after he's done making this last one, we'll so be done. So if you want to spend a lot of money and go to what might be the 6th best sushi restaurant on planet Earth, then there you go. Okay, so this kind of architecture, I love it. Because to me it looks like housing, which I'm desperate for, because we pay over $2,000 every month and we have 568 square feet, inclusive of a very small Juliet balcony, which is not really usable. And the more housing, I feel like, more supply, then, you know, we might have lower pricing. And we have a lot of homeless right now, and in America today, I don't really feel it's all their fault. There's certain collective decisions we're making or choosing not to make that are kind of creating a geography of the world that is having repercussions that we're all dealing with, whether it's higher prices for rents and homes or as much homelessness as we have. Anyway, that's just a random thought, an Eric thought. Okay, so this is Salt Kaka'ako. So again, you can walk here, and it's cool, it's pedestrian. Again, there should probably be housing like you just saw right over these buildings, but for now this will do. You know what? Should I walk back to where we started, or should I walk you down to the water? What do you think? here's Starbucks. You can see we take our rainbow seriously here in Honolulu. All right. We are coming up on an hour, so I think that it is probably best to just walk you to the water. I'd like to see the water. Those buildings are diagonal from where we started, that one and that one. So this is another view. So this is Kaka'ako. This is Kaka'ako where we are. Here's Ward Village. I'm just going to walk you to the water. You can see how close we are. I've been meandering. This is by no means a straight shot. Well, I mean, good luck to me getting across this strode that is Ala Moana Boulevard. But at least I can stand in the shade. Okay, there's the Pride of America. We saw it earlier. It is based in the US and it just sails around the Hawaiian Islands. For a long time, I was obsessed with going on it. And then I looked at pictures of the ship, and I went on one cruise before. It was a Royal Caribbean cruise through the Caribbean, and wow, it was beautiful, and it was the first quote-unquote like international trip. I'm not sure it counts, but it was the first time I was outside the USA, and I just remember having the best time, and it really awoke in me a want to see more. But I felt like the ship in its own way had some class, and after looking at the interior photos of that ship, it just didn't look like after spending the money to go on it, I'd be feeling the best about that purchase. So to each their own. It's a convenient way maybe to see multiple islands without having to hop on a bunch of airplanes. Because contrary to popular belief, we don't have any ferries operating between the islands, at least that I'm aware of. All right, so this is actually a great example of what most of Kaka'ako looked like for a very long time. Just black tops and corrugated metal warehouses that were dented and rusting. Just a giant heat island. And it's kind of been repaved recently, but here's what it used to look like. This was everywhere. You can see there's not really any pedestrian infrastructure. This is not Kaka'ako. Kaka'ako is on the other side of the road. Where we are right now is Hawaiian homeland lands that unfortunately, or there's some people that think fortunately they're not allowed to build housing on. I'm a proponent of housing and urbanism. I think it'd be great if they could build, an urbanist paradise right here. They've certainly got the acreage. I even put together an amateurish plan of, what could be done without even having 40-story towers. And the number of units is mammoth. And it could look really good. Anyway, this is the UH Cancer Center. We'll walk through it. It's very pretty. And then we'll be at the waterfront park. And you'll see just where you can get to and how quickly. All you can see from the secret park is the Frank Fossey Civic Center. There's actually a sushi restaurant right here if you wanted to grab a bite. And you didn't grab a bite back at Salt or downtown or somewhere else in Kaka'ako or in Ward Village. It's the Sushi King. And just imagine if you wanted to see all of this a little quicker, you could see it on a bicky. There's Diamond Head, and you can see Hilton Hawaiian Village. So that's how close we are. We were this way, my wife and I. The other day we were walking, and there was a Japanese tourist with a map, and he looked very confused, and he was walking toward Waikiki that way, and he asked us, excuse me, can I ask you a question? We said sure. We said sure, and then he said, which way is Waikiki? We said, oh, just keep walking straight, and you'll get there. As you can see, if we're over there, and you're walking that way, you just keep going straight. We'll get to Waikiki. So this is Kaka'ako Waterfront Park. And this is the area that is owned by Hawaiian Homelands, if I understand correctly. All of this, aside from the Cancer Center, it's on this side of the road. So we would say Makai of the road, or you could say south of the road, excepting the parks as well. And hopefully one day it will be filled with people who are housed. At least, again, that's a personal opinion. It's a very contentious issue here. So this used to be a open pit landfill, if I remember correctly. So these berms, or dunes, or I guess they're berms, or hills, these pleasant hills, cover it all up. I heard that is one of the reasons some people don't want folks to live here, is because the idea is if you live on this area permanently, would it be deleterious to health? And I just don't know the answer to that question. But right now, even though this area is pretty, most of this area is not the green lay that we like to think as locals continuously wraps around the edges of our island. It's a lot of blacktop, warehousey kind of stuff like that. There you go. You can see that's a movie studio, but it's just a bunch of gravel or blacktop. And it's maybe not the highest use that the area could be put to. Here's these beautiful trellises. They used to have beautiful bougainvillea just months ago. that was always in bloom, it seemed like, providing beautiful shade above the beautiful trellises. For whatever reason, that was cut down. But there are some new trees that have been planted, so hopefully they'll grow. How cool is this? The water is, I don't know, a 10 or 12 minute jog, maybe an 18-minute walk if you go straight from our front door. This is a great place to go fishing. It's a surfing and bodyboarding spot, and these boats here are all scuba diving boats. And I have scuba dived 3 times in my life that I can remember. Twice right there, and once off St. Thomas. Okay. This seems like a good place to wrap up. This is the surfing spot Flies, which is a favorite of one of my close friends who foolishly has moved away from paradise and is now complaining about living in California. It was a favorite of his because very few people ever use it, and I think you can kind of get the gist already looking at it why people rarely use it, because although it is very beautiful, it is not superbly grand so far as surfing spots go. But it is gorgeous. My gosh, is it gorgeous. Alright, so there we have, again, Kaka'ako. And then in the distance, you can see Peak of Punch Bowl. And if we come this way, we got some fishermen. And over this way, you can see the developments of the Gold Coast at Diamond Head. So at this point, my sunscreen is probably wearing thin, if it's not worn off already. We'll just walk down this way toward Diamond Head, enjoying the waves as we do so, and then maybe that's where we'll sign off. How cool is it that you can be 200-300 yards off the coast of this waterfront park and enjoy absolutely amazing scuba diving? Okay, here's Ward Village again, and then this is Ala Moana. That valley right there is Manoa. That's where the University of Manoa is. Here's the Keiki Lohana from another angle. Next to it is subsidized rental housing. Here you have a lovely couple that's come from the mainland, it looks like, to get their wedding photos taken. Maybe they're getting married here as well. Getting married in Hawaii is pretty awesome, speaking from experience. 10-10, would recommend. Would. Well, I guess there's no reason to get married again. But if I had to go back and redo it, I wouldn't mind doing it the same way. This is something that I have done before. It's a great idea. It's an intelligent man. So just to think that you can get here so quickly and easily from that secret park that we started off at, and you don't have to pay a tourist company nothing. Okay, there's the rusty warehouse. What do you think would look better? Housing or industrial warehouse? Right on the shore. This is 53 by the Sea. It's a nice eatery with fantastic views. I recommend making reservations way in advance if you're going to eat there. It is expensive, and people love to go there. Again, though, it's kind of in a weird setting because it's in this industrial park area, which luckily for you I'm not going to show because it's not worth seeing. There used to be coastal defenses here, as you can see. Luckily we don't need them anymore. We've progressed beyond that, hopefully forever. Ooh, this is cool. The video is going to be almost 1 hour. And this is a nice video. What a perfect day. The past few days it's been very gray and very rainy. We've been under flood watches because of a Kona low. Okay. So there's Ward Village. There is Ala Moana. This is Park Lane, Ala Moana Beach Park. We almost had an opportunity to rent in there. We would have loved to right there, but that's okay. Life chose a different path for us. There is Waikiki, and there's Diamond Head, and here's a great surfing spot. Wowza. All right, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this walk from the secret park of Frank Fossey Center. I hope you enjoy checking out yourself someday. Look how gorgeous and clear this water is. And signing out from Honolulu, Hawaii. Aloha! And Merry Christmas.